Hi, everyone. Welcome to the official live stream of Veteran Lifestyle Magazine. I'm Annette Wittenberger, and we are live. Thank you for tuning in to our official live stream where we will be bringing together music, storytelling, and the veteran experience in a way that inspires, heals, and uplifts. But alongside me is my co host, Joe Palacios.
Good to
We
see
are going to.
everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Hi, good to see
So,
you.
you too. So, we're going to be diving into the power of music as a tool for motivation, resilience, and transformation, especially for veterans and their communities. From R&B, soul, rock, blues, jazz, funk, and hip hop, we celebrate the sounds that move us and the people behind them. But this is more than just music. It's about real stories, real impact, and real connections. We will be featuring artists, veterans, and changemakers who are using their voices to spread love, possibility, and change. So drop us a comment and share your thoughts, and let's make this an interactive experience. Are you ready to get inspired?
Oh yeah, let's go for it.
Let's go. So I'm going to bring up our guests of smooth nature. Today we have two of the three. We have Marvin and Darian. So you guys, please introduce yourselves and share as much or as little as you want.
Well, I'm Marvin, that guy's older brother, and we've been doing music not too long. It's only been about 4 years, 2 years professionally. It's been in our life for a long time, but we're trying to use the God-given talents to help motivate people, inspire people, but most importantly, help people build and I guess use the music for whatever they need to use it for.
I love that.
What's up? Yeah, and I'm De'Arian, Marvin's younger brother. Yeah, piggybacking off what he said, music is something that has helped us grow into who we are, and being able to express that with other people and let people know, like, hey, through music and through art and creativity, you can find yourself and you can find ways to, build your capacity when it comes to dealing with the things through life.
Yeah,
And Gerald, he's not here, but he's number three, Mr. Gerald and Sexy G. Him too. He's very big about helping motivate and inspire people, and most importantly, allowing people to know that they can achieve. He's gone through his different things where he didn't feel that he was, worthy of being at the positions that we've been able to have, but learning to, have grace with yourself and be okay with where you are and knowing that you do deserve those things and knowing that your story is just as important as the next.
That's beautiful. I really love that. So real quick, just a backstory. I saw them play at it was a South by Southwest mixer, like an introduction to what's going to be happening next month. And I got up all my nerve and I ran up to them and was like, oh my gosh, can you please contact me because I want to interview you because the way that you were performing it there was just really, it was just really cool. It was just smooth and it was just really great, and that's why I was like begging you to come on here. So thank you so much for being on here. um so smooth nature blends so many different genres: R&B, soul, rock, blues, jazz, funk, and hip-hop. How do you bring all of these influences together to create your own unique sound?
Well, I mean, I will say number one, it comes very naturally. It helps that we're brothers, and Gerald, he feels like another brother, and so we like to bounce off each other, especially on stage. As you can tell, we kind of all move and slink around each other to try to give each other that. I guess each person's moment. But all of us growing up in church, it really helps blend the different styles that we find unique to us to make the music that we make. And I won't go into much Darren
yeah.
can.
I, I I'm just curious. Like, so did you guys? Obviously, I think because there's a misconception all the time. Like, I think music is music, right? And you appreciate the music for what it is, regardless of the genre. If it's good music, you're gonna listen to it. So that's why I think I'm curious. Like, um, how much other like what other music how did it inspire you to infuse like what other what genres like did do each of you guys have a specific one that you really kind of lean towards over the other? And then he goes, hey man, you know what? I bet if we could add in a little bit of like this Led Zeppelin like ish kind of thing with this, you know, Lou Rawls stuff, I bet it would work. Like, how does that, like, when you guys are in that creative sphere, do each of you guys have a specific genre that you're like, man, I bet this works?
I'll say
Marvin, like Darius asked Marvin, hey, how do we do this? Or you know what I mean?
yeah, I'll say quick because the Aryan, I know he's got a lot to say on this one. But myself, I love R&B. I listen to a lot of things. If it's good, I'm gonna listen. But I know we really make what comes from in here, and it just seems to be infused with so many different things. But go ahead, Darren. I know you got a lot to say on this one.
Yeah, yeah, I know me, because I sing, of course, but also play the guitar. And some of my favorite guitar players are like John Mayer, Stevie Ray Vaughan, uh, B.B. King, all the like Albert King, all the dudes from Texas. Just so I love the blues, I love rock, but also I love the sweet stuff. I love like melodic jazz when it playing. So it's very easy to introduce a lot of things into our music that are blues that are taken from the blues that are taken from rock, and yeah.
And Gerald, he's very big into hip hop, and we all write too. So like the Aryan with his guitar playing, it's very easy for him to be in the kind of like a mix of soul, blues, and rock. This kid, he's very chill, very quiet, but out of nowhere on stage, he'll go from playing these smooth riffs to these crazy guitar roars and solos, bringing in the Jimi Hendrix and Stevie Ray Vaughan feels. And it's really cool to have those lines floated because, you know, I love singing with the type of music that you would hear Adele singing, but we also love going crazy on stage like the Hot Chili Peppers would, you know what I mean? So our music kind of floats all lines because, you know, R&B, or I guess soul is in literally every genre, and so it's fun to float the lines of all of them to make what we make, you know.
Right on.
That's so cool that you. I mean, just some of the artists that you mentioned already. I was like, yes. I mean, I listen to all of them. I actually start my music or my day with music every single day. I'll pick an artist and then I just listen to that all day because this music is just it's my life. So, and then I think I can sing, so I just try. But that's in my house. No one knows. So, um, so let's get to
I have one
the
more
next.
question.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I
Yes.
have one more question. Well, and comment like one more of a. The reason I kind of really love that you guys have so much infusion into your music is that I know initially growing up that I was always stuck with like we compartmentalize, right? We know what we know in those pockets until we actually kind of get into whatever would expand that. So I would imagine like when you really get into music, you might know what you know, but then when you get into music, it expands and you start to see like all these different genres, right? Like for me, that's what it took. It took someone going, "Hey," another experience in my life kind of opened up to expand and go out. What kind of things did you guys do? Did it to help you kind of broaden that horizon of whatever you first liked, and then go, you know what, I want to pursue this, and then what was that step that you recall that goes, I want to look at some other kind of music? And then how did that kind of help you guys kind of grow?
You know, for me, I think it was very much kind of like the rebellious kid, not in the sense of rebellion, but having been closed off from so many things, mainly listening to the music that the parents played in the car, which was usually gospel music, and it was good. You know, they were singing, the instrumentation was great. And then I was stuck with what I was listening to at school because I didn't know much about music. Either my dad was playing it or our mom, or what they were playing in the gym at school. And then so I was kind of stuck with that, or maybe what was popular on the internet. But then when we started making music ourselves and getting absorbed into just us playing and then stepping foot onto stage and then meeting other musicians, that's when those doors started opening up even more. It was like, okay, there's so much more out there. And then as we're growing in our music, we started trying to look for more things like how can I grow? How can I expand? I know one of my favorite artists is Lucky Day just simply because of his writing and his producer D Mile. Imal is the one that made the Silk Sonic album, the hit song that Bruno Mars and Lady Gaga have right now, and just their instrumentation and the way they make it just blew my mind. And so I was like, I gotta find more things like this. And so now I largely listen only to upcoming independent artists because the music is just, at least to me, way better. It's deeper. There's more musicality in it rather than conforming to the mainstream. And so in my world, it is just because there hadn't been any music beforehand other than what was given to me. Once I started finding it for myself, it was like when you start looking for rocks in the sand. One rock led to another rock, and next thing I know, I got a whole pocket full. You know?
Yeah.
And me, honestly, I've always liked to listen to different kinds of music. It can really step into somebody's shoes when you listen to their songs and more about the songs and why they wrote it. Very interesting. See, like, well, and, like, see, like, how somebody's life has gotten to how they have and why they made a song,
Mm-hmm.
and just continually having an open ear. There's this one time somebody said a quote of like, of course, like music is comes in the same way like as you can't teach old dog new tricks, and of how like a lot of people once they get to a certain time where they listen to the same music want to listen to the same thing. Just, man, I've always got to keep an open ear to all things and find what I like, because of course you won't like every song in every genre, but in every genre there's a song that you may like. So I've always just tried to keep that mindset.
That's awesome. So your mission is to spread the love, positivity, and joy through music. Can you share a moment when you saw your music truly impacting someone's life?
There was actually a big moment. There's two. Two of them. One happened a while ago. One happened recently. But there was a friend that came up to us, or he came up to me personally, and he was like, "Hey, man, I appreciate you getting me back into music because I was gonna give up. I mean, I took it lightly. I was, I'm glad we were able to help you, start doing it again. I hate that if you're an incredible player. I wouldn't want you to, just stop." But he was like, "Nah, bro, I don't mean like playing music. I mean literally like give up." And he meant on the grander scheme of things in life. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think you can infer what I'm meaning by that. And so that was a moment that really hit, knowing that somebody was going through something like that, but something as simple as the music and it coming back into their life pretty much helped save them. And then there was a message we got recently from a lady on TikTok, and she was just talking about how she she hadn't been able to listen to music for almost a year after her sibling had passed away, her twin, and she randomly found one of our songs on the internet, and it was all she had been listening to because it was helping her get through that process. To us, we're just making songs. Now, of course, there's intention behind them, and we want them to impact people, and we want them to help people. But you never really know it's doing that until somebody tells you, and then it like really hits you like, dang, like we really got to keep doing this because you never know who the song could be touching, especially on the level like that.
Yeah. It's super crazy to be impacting people that you've never seen in your life. Like when Evan, that message he was referring to of that lady talking about her sister is very, first of all, very sad, but just like I'm glad that somebody has been able to find solace within the songs that we've made. And thinking back of like the time that you were sitting in the studio making it, just like you were just chilling, you were thinking about getting it done and getting it completed, and you never really the expectations of what it's gonna do are kind of not there. And very, very, very crazy.
Mhm.
It's amazing to see when you're doing things, because most of our work, right, is on social media. You have to promote yourself, you have to go out there and in well, you promote yourself online but on stage as well, and it's just amazing to see when you think you don't know if you're making an impact, you don't know if this is a big deal, like why am I doing this if no one's going to listen, that one person comes and tells you on TikTok, or you meet in person that tells you that your song just changed their life. I mean, so many mixed feelings, right? Just so many mixed emotions about that one person that's like, okay, I need to keep doing. God has obviously put me on the path that I'm supposed to be on, even on those days where I think I'm not making a difference. It's just that one person that you touch that's like, oh my gosh, this is it. He's just like, he places somebody right in front of you when you least expect it, that sends you that message that says you need to keep going. How does that, how does that make you feel? That's just incredible.
I mean, you even talking about it right now. Like I'm not the person that cries and that's was lost. And so even just thinking about it, it makes me want to tear up. I think I did a little bit, but like it's really because a big thing that's important to us is mental health. And I know a lot of people in general, but especially men, have a lot of struggles expressing their feelings. And so us having the avenue to do that through music and with each other when it's time, because we have our different battles and struggles that we deal with beyond the music, and so being able to speak with each other about those different things, and then allowing the music to play into that, but then also seeing the same thing and how this was a I guess therapeutic for us to make, seeing it affect somebody else in the same way and do the same for them. It's just it's like I said, it's crazy. It's just a blessing. It's mind blowing. I didn't know why we were set on the path to do music, but every time a person like that pops up, it reminds you why.
Absolutely. Joe, what are your thoughts on that? Because I know that you and I have spoken about things on the journey that we're on and helping people with all the projects that we do. But when that one person, reminds you why you're here, what do you think about what they're saying?
Well, I think it's because it's so hard, right? Like it's when you do things like selflessly and you're out there working those kind of projects and those kind of passion things, but which would really be your purpose, right? It's like when you're really kind of living that purpose. Um, it's hard because sometimes we put a lot of that on a result. Like we want to do this because we're called to do it, and then sometimes we get wrapped up on how did it turn out. Well, it doesn't always turn out right, but that's not the point of it. The point is to continue that purpose because eventually that's going to help someone, and that one person that helps. That's always great to hear. So I can't imagine. I know we talk about that all the time, but the other value is I think in what you guys are doing. There's just been this theme that we've been covering lately about anything that brings people together to kind of let go the anxieties of life, like because everybody has them.
Mm-hmm.
People that say they don't have anxieties in life are probably not living. Yes. But for that brief moment that they come and listen to your music, or they go to a movie theater, or they go to a baseball game, a basketball game, football game, soccer, whatever your forte of entertainment, to just kind of let stuff go and brings you around other people. I think there's so much value in that. So yeah, that's my point on that. And I want to say thank you guys for doing that, because I think a lot of people are losing sight in the value of why we embraced music in such a way around the world, right? Why people go to concerts. I think we've forgotten those things, and it's to bring people together, and it works still. So all right, that's my soapbox for the show.
Absolutely. Like I said before, music has been a part of my life since I was 13, and going to a concert, I'm not even going to tell you. Well, I am going to tell you. When I went to my first Pearl Jam concert after over 30 years, I cried. I cried because I have loved this music artist, Eddie Vedder, since I was 16, and I never got to see him until just, I don't know, 5-6 years ago. And I was able to see him perform on stage. I cried because I was like, oh my God, like I loved your music. You changed my life. Like you've been a part of my life. So you see somebody I wasn't front stage, but close enough to where I was able to appreciate his music in that capacity. And it just changed everything. So even with you guys, you have changed people's lives, whether it was, through Spotify, or was in person watching you play, it's such a whole different feeling. And I think we need to go back to those types of basics of what music does for us and how that brings people together, no matter how you listen to it. The words, the instrument, whatever the case is, it's just we forget how magical that is, how powerful that can be. So, I thank you for doing what you do, because you're obviously changing people's lives, and God has placed you right where you need to be. And it's a blessing for sure, because not everybody can do that. And yeah, so I could talk about it all day, but
No, I feel you, man. You never know. You never know who you're touching. You never know who's watching. And you never know who for people. Especially like he was saying, all the world. Like sometimes we'll go look through the back end because you got to study your data. But we'll see like Indonesia. I think it's Indonesia. You're in, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're our second country, dude. And I'm like,
what?
I never. But shout out Indonesia, whoever out there. I appreciate y'all. We love y'all, and all the other countries too. There was a girl who randomly found us from Germany. She came here because she was just I guess traveling, but we met her in Austin and she just wanted to take some pictures of us, and super cool lady way out there in Germany. And there's a guy who is very active on our YouTube from Brazil who leaves the sweetest comments. So shout out to Fabiano, I believe is his name. It's really crazy just to see how something so simple for us, like we ignored this part of us for so long. Like through high school we liked to sing. We grew up watching Michael Jackson and dancing and just all types of stuff. Music at all. Our mama was actually in an R&B group in the 90s that got to like tour the US. She never talks about it. And I couldn't comprehend exactly what she had done until we started doing music. But like having it be in our life for so long and then ignoring it, but then it finding the thing we were meant to be doing the whole time, and then seeing how it's impacted other people, it still blows my mind. Like every time we leave a show or just anything, it's like, y'all, this is crazy. It's Tuesday night, and we just got to do this. Like we just came from work and we did this. Like this is a blessing to be able to do this, but also interacting with the people. Like I always say, Austin is beautiful just because of the camaraderie. Like everybody's like, yeah, come do this thing or come join this thing. And so being in a community like and being around people like that, even in Waco, everybody's so close knit. It's very beautiful to see how what you do people, even when it's something as small as making a song.
It's amazing. That's awesome.
I don't know if you guys could hear, but I found one of your songs on. You guys did a highlight in Austin about a year ago. How would it feel?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys could hear it in the background, but I had that smooth. It was very smooth. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, I thought I heard something. I was like, that sounds familiar.
And here again, I'm gonna be fully transparent here. Annette is definitely the super music fan. Like she's really. I like music. I love listening to it. I go to concerts and all that, but I'm not up to date on all the music the way she is. But I love your sound, and also I recently didn't realize that Austin until recently that Austin was such a huge music city. And thank you for giving a shout out to our city of Austin here in Texas for its musical community.
See, that city has helped us grow way quicker than I thought was possible. And the friends we made from it, like it's been a lot of love, and not even just in the city, but the people of Austin being willing to help. But like we did an educational event with BMI and Mitch Ballard of BMI. Shout out to them. He was like, "Yeah, let's do an event in Waco." I did one a few years ago. Be happy to come down there again. And so he was happy, in him and Ogden Payne of TS, which is an organization called For the Students, or more to come all the way down to Waco and just to be able to provide education to our community out there. And so it's a beautiful place, man. It really is.
That is so great. Oh my gosh. So healing and growth seem to be the key themes in your music. So how do your personal experiences shape the messages that you deliver into your songs?
Go ahead, D. You got this.
So we try and be true and pretty true in our songs. It was funny, we were having a conversation last night, and I was saying about how when you're writing, it's kind of hard to write because when you're a musician, you hear things that you're like, oh, this would really sound nice, and you can honestly write anything to it. But when you write things that don't reflect how you feel, it just feels very insincere and inauthentic. And yeah, it's just the things that we've been through in life has ranged very, like all of our personal experiences, either that comes through the hardships that we've been through, the love situations that we've been through, and the good and the bad. It's all different, and so you like when Marvin's writing, he'll always write in the way that he feels, and it's very interesting hearing how he is able to articulate the way his love for his lady, and how he likes to write. And then me, usually I try and always go for a simple approach. I always have a hard time writing. Like I'm the person that gets writer's block, that gets the eraser and comes off. But it's yeah, it's like our personal experiences that they have deeply molded the way that we write, and the way that we can try and continue writing, the way that we are understanding that music has a is really, you have a big responsibility in the things that you're writing. So sometimes things that you've been through may not be the best thing to put on paper. And just like sifting through your mind of like, what things should I express about myself in this song, and how should I express it?
I love that you said that because I don't share this a lot. Only a few people know that I actually went to music school 3 years ago, and I'm a songwriter producer. But it's hard. It's hard. So my first two songs, my daughter sang them. Oh, she'll hate me for saying that. She sang them and she wrote them through a very difficult heartbreak. And to see how she made her words flow from something that was so just so difficult for her was a beautiful thing to see. Because that, how do you put that on paper? You know what I mean? Like, you're not, how do you not bash the guy, or I don't know, make it ugly into something beautiful? And when she sang it, I listened to it like 500 times before I published it on Spotify. One, because you need to make sure it's, it sounds right with all the background stuff that we won't get into, but to listen to it and realize, oh my gosh, she just turned this painful thing into something so beautiful. And it's I can't imagine. But even myself trying to write songs, how do I make it flow? Because in my mind, I'm like, it needs to rhyme. It doesn't need to rhyme. You need to, you just write. You just write and then you make it flow. But it's not easy. I I've been working on my third song for a year now, and I'm still like, I don't know. Do I go back and delete this, add this? So I don't know how you guys do it, because it's hard as all heck. And but I love it. I love being able to have that ability to put your feelings on the paper, and then you make this soulful, beautiful song out of it. It's just like, you definitely need talent. I'm not there yet, but just seeing you guys and how you turn that into something that people are like, man, that's it. I needed to hear this. You gave me a purpose. You gave me a reason to keep going. It's so, so impactful. And I want to get there one day. I want to be able to provide that space that you guys have. And I'm inspired again. You guys inspire me again, because I want to go back to that. But it's not easy.
No, I feel you, man. Like, it's crazy what, like I said, something so simple can do. Like I will say we were terrible songwriters a few years ago. It took time, but eventually it got to the point where we could do it pretty well. I will also recommend like Lucky Day, Adele. Listen to how they write, how they form things. I especially like him just because the way he puts words together is very unique. But like the Aaron was saying too, like with our experiences, one, my girl is a huge inspiration to what I do. She's recently made her my fiance. And so
Congratulations.
thank you. But like the way I always tell her, like I can literally list of 1,000 reasons that I like you and love you, but like it's still not enough to explain it, and so like I got to do it in the song, and
Oh.
so and even then it's still not enough to really portray the feelings fully. But it feels great to get them out that way. But not only that, like you were talking about with heartbreak. Of course, we've had our instances of it, but I also love writing other people's stories, and of course, I do it in a way that they won't be upset. And I usually also ask, like, "Hey, are you cool with this song?" Because it's kind of about you. But some of the songs too are also different pieces of multiple people's stories, including my own. And so it's really cool to be able to bring these stories together and write them in a way that I know can help other people without them being too specific and too on the nose. Like, I went through this thing. It allows people to put themselves into that song and how they've gone through it or whatever they're dealing with and be able to, find their path in their own right of healing.
What a beautiful thing to do, though, that you're able to do that for people. You take their story and you put it on lyrically, you put it out there, and it's just that's such a talent and such a beautiful thing.
It's important, man.
It is. It is. So what do you hope listeners take away from Smooth Nature's music, and how do you see your sound evolving in the future? I think you talked a little bit about what you want people to take away, but what other things did we not talk about that we missed that you would hope for them?
For me, I just want people to feel the love in it, whether it's about heartbreak, whether it's about having fun, whether it's about it's a lot of music nowadays. There's still great music out there, and even these type of songs aren't necessarily bad. But there's a lot of music that's either toxic or petty or super inappropriate, and like I guess those all have their time and place. But things that really feed people's souls and minds and hearts is so important. And so I just want whatever we make to be able to do that in whatever regard that it can for that person. And as far as our sound evolving, like I said, we just make what we feel. Of course, our musicality will get better, instrumentation will get better, our production skills and writing will evolve over time. But I just feel like as long as we make what our heart is feeling, then it'll come out like it's supposed to.
So, Darius, you said something earlier when you were talking about when you make music, and you said, you put all kinds of stuff in there, the trials and tribulations and all this, and you create something. I honestly think like there's been a theme in my life recently about trials and kind of understandings, right? And kind of expecting, and what brings me is everything out there has always talked about like when you get to a certain kind of peace, the trials are kind of not necessarily you don't look forward to them, but they kind of help you expand, right? Like there's so many different phrases out there, right? Nothing grows in comfort, and sometimes you got to challenge the comfort zone and all those kind of things, and even spiritually, right? And that's where it got to me was I was thinking is that music is like a form of celebration. It's a form of kind of like uh, getting over those trials sometimes. Right? That's just another way to celebrate that. And I'm glad I love that you mentioned that because it's another way to kind of ease the idea that we don't suffer. Like we have to get to a place where there's no trials and there's no hardships. There's always going to be adversities. There's always going to be trials, and that's good. And it's a way to be joyful because we're going to overcome them, and you're going to have a little bit more juice in the engine because you can do that. So I think music is a good way to do that too. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Yes, sir. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So what would you tell somebody who feels like they might have a song, they've written something, but they don't know what to do with it? What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say release it. I would say, go ahead and release it. Before you release it, if you really want it to succeed and see something happen with it, make content for it. Make a few videos. honestly, you post the same 3 videos every week on different in social media platforms, and that could work. But yeah, release it. You never know what could happen. And I always say, as a musician, you'll make more music than you'll release. And so it's all every time you get to something that you know is you've already recorded it, you already got all the lyrics for it. Like, just go ahead and release it. You never know what could happen. And as we were saying, anybody could find that song and relate to you. Even 30 years from now, they could relate to you in that when you were in that time and they were able to get over or get through or have solace in some sense with the song that you made. So I say release it.
Yeah, to piggyback off of that, I always say, is like you said, one, release it if that's what you know. Like, keep trying, keep testing, post it, go to open mics, like put your song in front of people, see what they think. I wouldn't recommend doing it with your family members yet,
Yeah, nah.
but do it with like people you don't know, see what they think, because they'll give you, you know, their true, honest opinions. If it's not good, they'll let you know. That's okay. But then you can grow. You can learn if it is good. You can continue to keep learning and growing, and just finding ways to evolve. Being around other artists and hearing what they do and how they work, it really helps influence what you do, so that your styles and abilities change over time. But the only way to do that is to, like you said, you got to put it out there. Got to put it out.
I love that. I love that both of you guys say just to do it, because I guess it's one of those things that I think, again, going back to when I was saying earlier about purpose, right? So I have a bunch of different people that all do all kinds of things, and everybody always asks them, so how do I do that? And the number one thing answer from every single one, regardless of industry, regardless of what it has to do, if it's, I want to, oh, how do I start gardening? Or how do I start? Everybody goes, just start, right? Like, you want to start, put seeds in the ground. You want to be a musician, pick up an instrument and start playing it. Like, I think, again, goes back to like we were saying, right? Just pursue the thing that you want to pursue, and you'll find the way. You pursue that. Maybe it's not being an artist musician, but maybe it's learning how to tune guitars becomes your passion, right? Your purpose, because you picked up the instrument, and you're not going to know until you do it. And we talk about this, and even in like the veteran entrepreneur space, and even any entrepreneur space, that whole fail forward, right? It's not, there's no failing. You're just learning how to do something you didn't know how to do before.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys said that too. It's just pretty cool, because I think that's, again, there's similarities in all of our walks of life that people forget. So I like that we can expand those. I always say we say communities, but I really think it's villages. You know what I mean? Because like a village is a little bit more broad, but it's still kind of close knit. I think sometimes we've started to say community, and when we say community, it means only my group. But if we say a village, it's like it's a whole network of communities working together. So I'm gonna start changing that. I'm not gonna say community.
I like that.
I'm ready for a bigger, right? Let's start expanding.
I'm telling you, you can't give. I just want to give like 3 examples of some people based off what you said. Like, give it. You can't give up. For example, the dude. I know y'all all know what Squid Games is. That show was pitched over a decade ago and got denied, and then it took years. But then once it finally got there, one of the biggest things out there. Sylvester Stallone, he wrote Rocky at 30 years old. You know, he had years of trying to make it and all types of things and working regular jobs. He was broke. I think he ended up selling his dog. I think he got his dog back, but he sold his dog for like the last little bit of money he had to get this story out. And now he's Sylvester Stallone. You know, there's this guy recently I found. His Instagram name is kind of dumb. It's called Scoochie Boochie. But the dude, like, he makes random raps, but he made this video way back in 2020 during COVID. They just threw out on YouTube, but he decided to post it again this year and put it on Instagram. And this year was his year. He blew up, you know, and he was like, I didn't know this was going to happen. It's just a dumb video I made years ago, but God's time, you know. So you can't give up, man. You just got to keep going because you never know. And that's for every industry.
That is so true, and I appreciate that you said just do it. I follow a lot of artists on TikTok, and they just kept doing it. They just kept playing on there and putting themselves out there, and then one day signed with the label. And although I'm not saying everybody needs to sign with the label, because I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, but they did it. They just put themselves out there and played there, or sang, or share their lyrics, or whatever. And I really believe that if you do what sets your soul on fire, you're gonna get to where you need to be at the right time. And but it is, you just have to go for it. Just write the book, play the song, write the lyrics, do whatever, as long as that's what fuels you, and it'll come. The rest will come. And I think it's just it's such a blessing, and I think it's just amazing, because not everybody could do that. In But yeah, I'm obsessed. I find so many artists on TikTok that I'm like, wow, you're amazing. And I'm always going to talk about Chaperone. Not everybody likes her. I freaking love her. She's been playing that song for the past 5 years, and now look at her, ridiculous. But it's taken. She had to just keep doing it, from playing on the side of the street to selling out. So I just think it's amazing, because she loves what she does, and she just had to keep going for it. So yeah, all that to say, just do it. Just go for it. Do it. So yeah.
Be surprised how many people, even Sabrina Carpenter, we all knew her from Disney Channel, Little Bitty Kid.
Yes.
Took her 6th album in over a decade to be the Sabrina Carpenter. Now Doechii as well. Now y'all probably know who Doechii is now, but if you go on her Instagram or her YouTube and click oldest, you can see when she was a random girl making weird videos in high school, to her going to her jobs and then getting fired, and then starting to do music, and then the path through music to her now winning a Grammy. Like, it's a crazy thing to like be able to see it all, but like over a decade,
Yeah.
It is. It is. Never give up. Never give up if that's what fuels you. Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Any closing thoughts, Joe? What a great interview.
No, I mean, again, I think this just said a lot of. I haven't been interviewing many musicians until I started with Annette here, but again, it's just so like for me, the biggest thing has always been like, how do you amplify voices? And of course, I started with, I want to amplify veteran voices. Oh, I want to amplify this voice, and I want to do this. But the more you do that, like I think the more like, just like when you guys got into music, right? Like initially you started, I'm like, I want to do this kind of music, and then you advance, and you and then you met these other cool musicians, and then they go, hey man, have you guys tried this? And then like you just keep growing, and then you start to go doing these other things. So same for me, as I started to kind of like learn these things, I started to notice it's the same. There's the same kind of rules in every industry and everything, and then really it's all about us trying to figure out how we work together, and how we bring people more together. Like in the long run, I think that's like, I think we all have like this kind of innate design that we want to like build like people together and be like kind of cool with that. And music does it. And the number one step on all the successes are the same. It's like start, keep trying, find people that do it as well or better and learn from them, and then don't quit. It's like it's like so easy, it's complicated.
Yes.
Because don't get me wrong, man. And Annette will tell you, and anybody in my network will tell you, I get it wrong all the time too. But we just got to not quit, and I love that. That's kind of like the story and everything. So, thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing your perseverance and your kind of like, I don't know, man. It was just, again, today was just like I feel like you guys just solidify the idea that we just got to keep trudging forward. Right?
I'll say so importantly is, please, whoever you are, just educate you, especially if you do want to help others. It's crazy how much the knowledge, because like it kind of, I never really as we've been doing music, it's been crazy to me to see how in every other industry, especially in entrepreneurship, whatever it may be, any industry, any business, in order for that business to grow and to be able to do the thing it needs to do, the people who create that business have to know what they're doing, how it works, the industry around it, how their competition is. And I say competition like this, but like they have to educate themselves. So especially in music and whatever industry you're in, but in this case, music, like please educate yourself because the things that we've been able to do came from the education of it and how things work and who's doing what and what's going on, because if you really want to impact people, it has to be more than about the music. Because the music is just the thing that we are good at, so it's the catalyst to more things. But that education part is going to be so important because then you can truly start to impact the people around you on an even greater level. And so education is key. Man.
All right, so everybody knows that now I'm kind of like I recognize some of my things, and one of them is the way I relate is I have to tell a story that relates to what you said. You hammering like music education. It's so funny because it just kind of makes me realize how much of a musician my oldest son is. He plays the French horn, marching band. He's going to go to senior next year. But the other day I was like, your younger brother wants to kind of play music. He's thinking he wants to play an instrument. And my brother goes, he doesn't need to learn how to play an instrument. He needs to learn music theory. So like, it just makes me realize like how like maybe real musician he is, because you also were like education, man. Even in music, you got to learn the music and learn the education. So thank you for that. That's pretty fun.
Oh, of course. That music industry is a
All right,
monster.
hold on. One more thing though.
Oh,
Annette, stop
yes,
highlighting me like that.
I have to. I have to for our social.
I know I'm teasing.
I have to do it for social media. There's a method behind my madness. Sorry, go ahead, Marvin.
We're family here, guys. Now you're part of the family, so you're gonna have to
This
deal
is
with
how
that.
we roll.
Everybody that's watching too, welcome to
Yeah.
the crazy family. But we
Yes.
really appreciate you guys coming on. Thank you.
And I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just saying the music industry is a monster. Like genuinely, our job is 10% music and 90% everything else. It's crazy. And the education, it will help.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Do you guys have any other last words? Oh, I know what I wanted to say. Sorry. Back up. This is how we do it. Um, before I do all the closing thoughts and all that, I would love to like just spend a day with you guys and like learn, because I really want to get back into music again. It's been 2 years since my last song, and I really just want to learn from you. So just let me know when.
We'd be more than happy to do right. Things trying to help where we can. So anybody watching too, if you need help on the path, please reach out. Like, we are more than
Awesome. Okay.
No,
Any
sure.
any other closing thoughts from you guys?
indeed.
Thank
Yeah.
you guys for having us. Yeah.
Thank
No,
you.
I have one. Guys, go search Smooth Nature.
Yes.
Listen to the music. I searched them earlier today, and I actually thought you guys were coming on later today, but I'm glad you guys came on first. It really kind of got me pumped up because, again, like I said, there's just such this commonality in all of our things. I think there's just so much like misconception that everybody is different in different industries and different communities because we're not a village yet. We're different. You know what I mean? I think there's just this idea that my hard work is a little bit different than your hard work, but it's all hard work. Like we're all working. All of us are working to do something better. And you know, and the reason I mentioned your trials, Darius, is because and I'm gonna be out there. I've recently really started to kind of step into my personal spirituality, which is God, Christ. Like I and my daughter got baptized, and they talked about, and I had to look it up while we were talking a minute ago. And it's James 1:2, and it says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when we face trials of many kinds." And I think that's because it makes us better. It allows us to lean on whatever higher power we are. I'm not preaching whatever higher power. For me, it's Christ. But when we're in those trials, right, whatever it is, it's when we're allowed to lean on what are the things that make us better, right? Whether it's God, whether it's whatever that is, your higher power, whatever spirituality you follow, it allows us that, and then it allows us to overcome those, and that leads to growth. And then I think that just builds us closer together. So that's why I was really grateful for that. Thank you. And again, thanks everybody for joining us.
Thank you. Okay, my closing thoughts here before we end the show. Thank you guys again for being here. But here at Veteran Lifestyle Magazine, we are dedicated to sharing the real stories, challenges, and triumphs that come with life during and after military service. Whether it's transitioning to civilian, finding purpose beyond the uniform, or navigating personal struggles like mental health, relationships, and career shifts, we are here to have those types of conversations. So as you continue to walk your own unique path, know that Veteran Lifestyle Magazine will always have a space. We will always be a space with veterans, military families, and supporters can find resources, inspiration, and a sense of community. We are committed to bringing you the stories, voices, and insights that matter most. You are not alone in this journey. Let's keep moving forward together. So here are 3 things that you can do to stay in the know is follow us over on our website to check out everything that we're working on. Find us on LinkedIn and click the bell at the top right of our LinkedIn page to get the latest on our journey with the magazine. Like, subscribe, and follow Veteran Lifestyle Magazine and all the conversations that we're having on your favorite social media or podcast platform. We'll see you next time on the next podcast at Veteran Lifestyle Magazine. So thank you again for being on here and for everything that you do. And I hope to see you guys soon.
Oh, thank you too. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
And all right.
It's good.